Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to the final project for CSC-230, a class dealing with the Internet of Things at the University of Advancing Technology. For my final project, I decided to make a portable temperature and humidity sensor. And that temperature and humidity sensor will get data in real time on the M5 stick, and then it will broadcast that via the Wi-Fi channel to TeamSpeak in order to record the temperature and humidity in a graph. How cool is that? I think that is awesome. Okay, so let's get started. The code on this was actually pretty straightforward. After you've been programming for a while, and you learn some of the tips and the tricks that you'll learn going to college, it actually becomes second nature. So to begin with, I had to import some header files, which are basically libraries. Boy, I am tongue twisted today. I don't know why. Anyway, we have to import these libraries in order to get this thing to work right. Each library has specifics to certain things that are going to make this program do its magic. So the M5 stick C+, that's going to allow us to use the M5 stick C+. ThingSpeak is going to allow us to use ThingSpeak. Wi-Fi is going to allow us to use Wi-Fi. The secrets header file is actually where we're going to keep all of our passwords, our channel number, and our API key so we can access TeamSpeak and the channel that we want to have the data displayed on. And then I use a library called Simple DHT, which is a library that will allow us to get data from the DHT-11 temperature and humidity sensor. Okay, so here we have some variables. This one's for the channel number, basically what channel you're using with TeamSpeak, because you can have more than one, and the API key, which means basically, the API key is basically the key that's going to lock or allow people to view the stuff on your site. Without the API key, you can't really access it. Then you have the SSID, which is your network ID name, your your password, which is network password, and the key index is 0. It's always going to be 0 right now because that's what we're using. For the DHT, it can run on 5 volts or 3 volts. I actually have it hooked up to the 5 volt output of the M5 stick C. Ground runs to the ground, and the data pin, the pin that's going to output data, is the pin 26 on the M5 stick. So we have to make a Wi-Fi client. I do that. I name it client. We have some integers and some bytes here. The byte is going to get a temperature and a humidity reading from the sensor, and then this temperature F is a variable that's going to be used to convert the temperature that is going to be in Celsius, converted it to Fahrenheit. So the sensor itself actually will give you the temperature in Celsius, which is great. But in the United States, most people use Fahrenheit. That's just what we're used to. So I put this in here so I can convert Celsius to Fahrenheit and have it print out on the M5 stick and the TeamSpeak channel. Pretty cool. I have a counter here. So this counter basically is going to loop from 0 to 200. And the reason why I do that is, well, let's do the math here. So this is going to run 100, basically 100th of a second, or a tenth of a second. Okay, a tenth of a second. 100 times, 100 divided into 1,000 is tenths. So a tenth of a second. Okay, so we need to update TeamSpeak every 20 seconds, right? Because that's the best we can get from TeamSpeak right now with the free stuff that I got. But I wanted to be able to still see the temperature in real time on the monitor of the M5 Stick C+. So here's how we do it. We have a loop. okay? And that loop is basically part of this counter, okay? And I'll show you this in a minute. So what we do here is if the loop equals 200, okay, that means 20 seconds, then we're going to write it to TeamSpeak, okay? But before we do that, we run through this loop here, or we run through the main loop, which is going to basically get us the temperature and the humidity and print it out on the screen. Once it does that, it delays for a tenth of a second, and then we update the loop counter by 1. So by doing this, I'm still able to do this part of the code every tenth of a second. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm getting an update on my screen of the temperature every tenth of a second, which is far more than what I really need, you know. And then we take that number and we do the math and say, okay, once we get this to 200, which is going to be 20 seconds, then we're going to update it. So that's how that works. It's not all that hard. You know, it's really not all that hard. So let's go from here into an example. The next part of this is going to be the video portion where you get to actually see it working. So guys, have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy this. I had a lot of fun in this class and a lot of fun with this project. See you in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so what I have here on the screen, I have it all set up for the M5 stick to display the temperature and the humidity on ThingSpeak, and I also have the serial bus open here to show you that it's going to be able to connect to the internet and transmit and send data every like 20 seconds. So let's take a look here. There's the M5 Stick C. Pardon the mess of my little laboratory. The M5 Stick C is hooked up to a DHT-11 temperature and humidity sensor. I have written a program to convert the temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit, so it'll display in Fahrenheit, and the temperature or the humidities and relative humidity. So what we're going to do is we're going to start it up. Okay, so as you can see, it's not going to do any temperature just yet because we have to connect. Don't worry about this LED C not initializing and stuff like that. It's just checking for an LED light that is not available at the moment. I'm actually going to make that LED blink later on when there's something being written to TeamSpeak. Okay, so now you can see, I'm not sure if I can get it in focus or not, but it is displaying a temperature and humidity. The temperature is 71 degrees, the humidity is 24. So as you can see here, there was a channel write. It was successful. And if you look here, the temperature is marked and the humidity is marked. Now in 20 seconds, it will update. So let's take a look and see if we can get this to happen in real time. So, okay, so it just updated. Give it a second. And voila, now you have the beginnings of a graph that's going to show you the difference between the temperature and stuff like that. Now as an added bonus, I have here a heat gun. It's like a heat pen. We're going to apply heat to the sensor to see if we can get the temperature to drop or to rise and the humidity to rise. Okay. All right, so it just jumped to 90 degrees Fahrenheit with a temperature of, or humidity of over 70. Let's see here if we can get that. Oh yeah, there it goes. You see that? Big old jump there. 104 degrees and 59. Ooh, so it was higher than I thought. And on the temperature and humidity, oh yeah, it's 102 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, that thing works good. Well, I would call this a success. We have a a successful temperature sensor here. I did notice something here though. Over a certain amount of degrees, that DHT-11 is going to fail. So I guess if it goes over 100 and something degrees, it's going to fail. But it did kick back in, and you are now seeing it all in real time. I think that's amazing. This IoT stuff is the way of the future, because here's what we have. We have a temperature and humidity sensor. Basically, we have a weather station that we can put in our pocket and take wherever we want and get real-time data whenever we want. So that's amazing. Anyway, guys, this is going to conclude my final project for this semester. I hope you like it. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I get an A. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.